how to turn clutter into cash on today's Keeping You Organized. Today on Keeping You Organized, we are going to learn a little bit about making some money by decluttering. And we have the expert on that subject. It's Donna Smallin Cooper. And Donna, you got to tell people where we're talking to you from.
Well, I am talking to you from my RV, which is currently parked in San Diego, and this is where we live. We live wherever our RV is parked.
Now, there's an interesting story behind how you, I'm going to let you tell the story because I've been reading about it. I find it fascinating how you kind of downsize, and just give us the backstory on what made you want to do this.
Well, what happened was my husband was getting ready to retire, and we started to think about what we would do when he was retired. We were living in Michigan for his job and had no family there. All our family is, located across the United States, and my husband is from San Diego originally, and we met in Phoenix. And I'm originally from upstate New York, so we have lots of reasons to be in other places. And we just decided that we thought about snowbirding for a while, keeping our home in Michigan and just taking off for the winter. But there's a lot involved with that. You still have a house to maintain and worry about while you're away. And we just decided that the best thing to do was sell that house, sell everything in it, just take with us what we really loved and could use, and hit the road as full-time RVers. And that's what we did in July of 2013.
Now, how many square feet did you downsize from?
We had, counting our finished basement, we had about, I would say, 3,500 square feet.
And now, and how many square feet are you in now?
I'm guessing it's about 350 square feet.
Wow. Well, that's an incredible story. So that probably involved even a little bit more than decluttering, right? I mean, that is like a total. I mean, how did you start to decide what it is that you needed to keep and what needed to go?
Well, obviously, all the furniture had to go.
That was easy, right? Yeah.
Yes. And, we both have some hobbies. I actually play a piano. I have a piano with me. Wow. It's a digital keyboard, obviously, but it's an 88-key keyboard, so it's a full-size keyboard. And my husband has several guitars and amplifiers and speakers because he likes to play guitar. We love our books, but we sold them all, and we now read everything on a tablet or a Kindle. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of easy to say, okay, we can't take the books with us. I'm a huge cook. I love cooking, so my cookbooks were kind of hard to let go of, but what I did was I scanned all my favorite recipes. And I have lots of online sources for recipes as well. So I cook something new just about every day. I have a few favorites I go back to, but I really enjoy just cooking new things all the time.
Well, what's the lifestyle like? Do you find it less stressful and the pace maybe not as much as it was before? Or is it about the same as just the living environment? I mean, obviously you don't have to clean as much, right?
Right. Yes. The cleaning is a good thing. It used to take me 2 hours to clean my house, and that was just the upstairs. That didn't include the finished basement. Now I can clean in under 20 minutes. So it's, really nice. But as far as the lifestyle goes, it really is very, very different. And I expected it to be different, but it's really a what I call a freedom lifestyle. Mm-hmm. Because we have downsized, we have a lot fewer expenses. We don't have a mortgage. We don't pay rent. We're living in an area, San Diego, right on Mission Bay, where, to have a home here would just cost a fortune. Mm-hmm. But we just pay a certain amount to stay in the park for the month, and that includes our utilities. So our expenses have decreased dramatically, and so I find I don't really have to work quite as much as I did before. And I usually get out every day and do some kind of exercise, like bicycling or walking, paddling. So it's just Yeah, it's really a wonderful place to be.
Well, now your profession is maybe a little bit different than some of the guests we have on, or we talk to professional organizers on this show a lot. But you are an author. I mean, you've written 12 books, but you're also involved in NAPO, so you obviously have a heart for the organizing community. Talk a little bit about that. Why are you writing books into this community, I guess?
Well, I've been a writer all my life, and about 13 years ago, I had an opportunity to write a book about uncluttering, decluttering. And it was interesting to me because I had always considered myself a minimalist, and I grew up with very organized parents. So I never really had a major issue with clutter, although, like everyone else, clutter would tend to accumulate at times when I was transitioning, and moving was just as hard for me as anybody else. I guess I had some skills, but I never really named those skills. And so I realized that lots of people did struggle with this issue of decluttering and organizing. And I wrote this book and learned a lot in the process, quite honestly, because I had to learn it in a way that I could share those skills with my readers. And that's what organizing is really all about. Professional organizers are really focused on sharing their skills, transferring their skills, not doing it for someone, but teaching them how to do it for themselves. And I didn't intend to have this become my career, but the first book led to a second book, which led to a third book, and then it just continued on from there. And I truly enjoy sharing this way, sharing my knowledge this way, because I'm able to reach hundreds of thousands, millions of people, millions of readers through my books and my blog and website and I have a Facebook organizing support group even. So yeah, it's something that really is, it's just, I guess, something I was meant to do.
Yeah. Now, you obviously got the domain name Uncluttercom, so you must have had that for a while, huh? I mean, those kind of one-word domains are a thing of the past, right? I mean, you must have gotten that many years ago.
I did actually. It wasn't too long after I wrote that first book, and even then, I still had to pay for that name. It wasn't a lot. I'm sure today, if I wanted to sell the name Unclutter.com, I could probably sell it for many times more than what I paid. But yeah, it was an opportunity at the time, and I thought, sure, for that price, I'll buy it.
Yeah, absolutely. So now let's talk a little bit about your blog. Are you doing a few times a week, every day? And what is the focus of the blog? Is it wide? Is it your travel stories? Is it a mixture?
Well, we do actually keep one blog, which is called Flying the Coop, KOOP.com, for people who are interested in our RV lifestyle. And my husband is really the writer, the primary writer for that blog. So he's enjoying that. And my website, unclutter.com, features a blog as well. And I have had a monthly newsletter for 13 years now. And so once a month, I write sort of a larger post, which is my newsletter. And then, a couple times a week, I like to blog about whatever might pop into my head about decluttering or organizing, and also sharing resources, because I find things, people come to me with ideas and products that I think are pretty interesting, and I'll share them with my readers.
Well, you wrote the book, How to Declutter and Make Money Now. Let's talk about that book, because that's kind of an interesting twist. Most people just want to declutter if they're motivated, right? And they're happy with that. But you've added this thing. How is that extra motivation for people? How do you kind of set that whole thing up?
It is extra motivation for some people, because, in fact, I was one of those people who would look at things and think, okay, I'm not using this anymore, but gee, I paid so much money for it. And it was, the idea of maybe getting a little bit back from it was appealing to me. And so I thought it might be appealing to others as well. And at the time I wrote this book, the economy was not doing so well, which means people were struggling to make ends meet. And I thought, wow, people are sitting on sometimes thousands of dollars worth of goods in their home, which could be turned into cash. So I thought this would be a great book to put together. And I had already spent quite a bit of time selling my own belongings, and then learned even more when I sold everything, and we hit the road as full-time RVers. But yeah, I just thought I could share what I learned about selling online and selling through Craigslist and garage sales and what have you.
Well, that is a perfect transition. We're gonna take a quick little break, but when we come back, I want to dig into the book. I want to find out some of those tactics that you use and kind of what takes place and how you tell people to make money on that. So hang on there. We're going to be right back with Donna Smallin Cooper from Uncluttercom, and we're talking about making money while you declutter on keeping you organized. We'll be right back. Do you need ideas on to-do lists, keeping focus, and filing information while on the go? The 100 Ideas for Better Organization ebook by Smead is sure to be a helpful tool for your organizing needs. Each idea is titled so you can quickly scan the book for whatever topic you may need to reference at the given time. With over 100 years in the organizing business, this free ebook will become a well-used resource and motivator for introducing ideas that boost your productivity. Get the 100 Ideas for Better Organization ebook by going to smead.com/100. Download yours now at smead.com/100. Smead, keeping you organized. We're back now on Keeping You Organized. We are learning now how to make money by decluttering. It's an extra bonus, and we have the expert and the author of the book, How to Declutter and Make Money Now, Donna Smallin Cooper, and who's coming to us from an RV in San Diego, which is kind of neat because she downsized, obviously a major decluttering and downsizing, and we talked about that in the first part of the program. So let's get into this idea of how do we declutter? I mean, someone comes to you and wants advice on how to declutter. What do you tell them?
Well, you have to have a big enough why, and so that's really important. And I've actually heard it said, and I believe this, that you should find the why that makes you cry. And sometimes what you have to do is really dig deep for that. But, we all have things that we really want in our lives, and then things that prevent us from, there are obstacles that keep us from getting to where we want to be. And so you really need to think about the clutter as obstacles. These are obstacles in your way of something in your life. And it might be something like you'd like to be a painter. You have an artistic side that you'd like to express, but there's nowhere in your home that you could set up to paint, unless you cleared out your spare bedroom, perhaps, and then you could make that into a studio. And so you have to really, really want this, because there'll be some work involved. There's no doubt about it. And, if you're like most people, you will always choose to do something that's more fun than something that's a lot of work. If there's an opportunity to go to the movies, you'll do that instead of cleaning your closet. So you have to have a big enough why that will see you through to the end. And so for us, for example, we wanted to spend time with our family in San Diego and our friends in Phoenix and grandkids in the Northwest and my family in New York State. So there was no way we could be everywhere and possibly travel that much. And so we decided this is what we wanted to do. And it was easy to let go of all of our stuff because we had a bigger dream of being able to travel and have freedom.
Well, how do you come up with what your why is? Do you talk about that in the book? I mean, what are the steps? I mean, do you have to ask yourself some questions? I mean, how do you uncover it?
Yeah, you do. You ask yourself questions. Why do I want to unclutter? Well, I'm tired of looking at all this stuff. Why? Why are you tired of looking at all this stuff? Because it makes me feel like I have to do something with it. Well, why do you feel like you have to do something with it? Because it's in my way. I'm tripping over it every day. why are you tripping over it every day? Well, you just keep asking yourself these questions and just kind of just keep digging until you come to something that is the real reason why you want to get rid of the clutter.
Okay, well, let's say we've got our...
And you might even ask yourself, okay.
Oh, no, go ahead. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
Oh, I was just going to say, sometimes you can ask yourself, if that's not working for you, you can ask yourself the other reason, why am I not doing this? Mm-hmm. And get to the real reason why. And that might lead to, for instance, my reason to hang on to things in the past was because I paid perfectly good money for them. And I didn't want to just let them go. It was hard for me. Maybe because when I grew up, we didn't have a lot of money, and I worked hard to get everything I had. So, and I think some people from older generations can relate to this as well if they've gone through the Depression or have had tough times in their lives. So, so for me, the solution was to turn that clutter into cash, and I could feel better about, in the end, having some money. And I would ask, and in the book, I tell people, if that's appealing to you, then think about what you want to have that money for, because there's another why. Maybe it's so that you can have a long weekend with your family away someplace, or that there's something new you'd like to buy for your home, like a big screen TV. Well, you could sell your junk and things that you aren't using and don't love anymore, and get things that you would love and use.
It's interesting you say that, because a couple of years ago we had a garage sale and we wanted to get a Vitamix. And at the end of the 2 days of selling, we were within like $3 of what it cost. It was pretty miraculous. It's like, wow, we sold all this stuff and we hit our goal, within $3. So it's kind of fun. Okay, let's say we have the why in place. What are some of the next steps, the next tactics to actually, conquer it?
Well, you have to think about how you will get rid of things. And there are different ways to sell, and it's kind of depends on what I ask a lot of questions in the book about, so that you can figure out which way would be best for you. But like, for instance, I love selling on Craigslist. For some people that's scary. They don't want people coming to their home, strangers. Personally, I find that I've actually made friends with people who have come to purchase things on Craigslist, and I've never had an issue with it at all, but I can understand that for some people that might be scary to have people come to your home. And so maybe online selling is a better way, or maybe you take your things to a store that will buy them. I sold an iPod and an old clarinet at one time to a store that buys everything. And you'll see sometimes, if you're in a major urban area, you might see a store that says, we buy everything. Go check it out. See exactly what it is they buy, and then go home and see if you have some of those things. And there are often stores that will, those stores that will buy everything are often stores that will they resell on eBay. So that's another option for you as well.
Do you have to set in your mind something like, if I don't sell it, I'm going to give it away? Because you don't want to take the things that don't sell and move them back into your house, do you?
Right, exactly. And sometimes that's the way to go too. I even have a chapter on donations in this book, because, all right, so you're not making money when you make a donation, but if you're eligible to take the tax write-off for non-cash donations, well, in a way you are making money, because you're saving money on your taxes, which is like making money, right? So I do have a whole chapter on that. And for some people, that's just the best way to go. Just take the tax write-off, and make sure you get a receipt and you document the things that you're donating. You can actually donate, I think it's like something like up to 50% of your adjusted gross income can be written off as non-cash tax donations. Now, do check with your tax advisor, because I'm not a tax advisor and I don't know your situation. But that could be huge. So just know what's involved if you do decide to go that way. Check with your tax advisor.
Now, when you were downsizing and taking all this stuff out, what was the hardest thing for you to let go of?
I actually do. I don't know.
Did you have a grand piano or something?
Did I have what?
Did you have a grand piano or something that you would have loved to take, but just...
No, I didn't actually. But I did sell the piano I had, and I brought my key, and I
Right.
bought a keyboard. Actually, I sold the piano for exactly what I needed to
Oh.
buy a keyboard that with a portable stand that I could have in the bedroom of our motorhome. In fact, the woman who came to buy my piano offered less, and I was asking more, and she offered less, and I said, "Look, I'll just tell you right now. Here's what I want. I want to have exactly the amount that I just paid to get my new keyboard." And she said, "Okay."
Oh, that's nice.
So,
what was that feeling like when you pulled out of the driveway for the last time, and now all of a sudden you have no roots in a physical piece of land? You're I don't know. I suppose in like San Diego you might stay for extended periods of time, but are you moving around a lot? But what is that like, not having an address? Or a permanent address, I guess.
A permanent, an actual, what we call bricks and sticks home.
Yep.
Actually, when we pulled away, I cried. And I didn't cry because I didn't want to go. I just cried because it had been a place that, was where I lived. It was what I called home for 2 years in that home. And 2 years before that in the same state. So I had friends there, and I had memories, and there were good things. And so, it was tearful, and it took me by surprise. Actually, I didn't expect that. But home now is where we are, and so wherever we are is home. And yeah.
Well, it sounds like it might be another book in the making. Is that a possibility?
Oh, I'm sure. It could be all about small space organizing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's kind of an experience, and I think a lot of people probably live through your experience and would say, oh, I would love to be able to do that. Maybe can't vision that they could do it, but that's where having the strong why comes in, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really not for everyone. I mean, for us, it was perfect, but for someone who really enjoys their home and loves taking care of it, and maybe they love decorating and gardening, you wouldn't like this lifestyle. You would miss your home. You really would. That wasn't me. I never picked up a paintbrush in my life. I didn't enjoy doing that. So it worked out. I did think about the one thing that was the hardest for me to let go of, and I did have some artwork, actually some blown glass, and some paintings that, I wasn't taking glass in a motorhome because, there's a chance that that'll get broken on the way, not to mention the fact that there's really not a lot of room. So I could only take the smaller pieces of art and pottery with me. So it was hard. And what was interesting was that those things didn't sell in our estate sale. I tried to sell them on Craigslist. I tried to sell them on Facebook. I talked to all my friends about them. They didn't sell in the estate sale. And in the end, I actually gave them away. And I never imagined that I could just give them away, but it was a wonderful feeling in the end to give them to someone who I knew really wanted them, but just couldn't afford to buy them for herself. And it just was a wonderful feeling, to feel that I could just give them away. Did you take a picture of them with your camera so that you have them digitally somewhere? You can call them up on your iPad once in a while. Oh, well, I could, I suppose, because I did take photos when I was trying to sell them.
That's good. Well, listen, we're about out of time. I want to give you an opportunity to talk about your books, where people can get a hold of them. Do you want them to connect with you at Unclutter.com? Just give us a little brief way that people can best connect to you.
Well, I think the best way is to come to my website, Unclutter.com, and maybe check out some of the blog posts, see if that might be something of interest to you to follow me and be learning on an ongoing basis about decluttering and organizing, and know when there might be new books available. My books are available, all of them, on Amazon.com. And most are available in Kindle formats, which is nice. And there are some printed books as well. So, awesome. Come and take a look at, see what we might have for you. Well, great. Well, it's been just an enjoyable time talking to you. It's a little bit different kind of guest that we have on the show, but definitely you're a part of the community. You've been around, you've got the books, and
And I hope we can catch up again with you on the road somewhere down the line again too.
That would be great. I would love that.
Great. Well, it's Donna Small and Cooper from Uncluttercom today on Keeping You Organized.